I did not know were celebrities. I didn't know they were famous. Other people would have to tell me, you know so-and-so. I go, I don't know so-and-so. And they go, yes, you do. Like that guy from the Fast and the Furious.
Vin Diesel?
Yeah, Vin Diesel. I remember Leia. Do you remember Leia Harris?
Yeah, we're still good friends.
Leia Harris and I, we were driving together in Forest in Venice Beach. And I got out of the car to write a ticket, and Vin Diesel came over to me, and he said, how you doing? And he gave me a hug, and I said, how you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And his other friend gave me a hug, because I would see him a lot. I just assumed he lived in Venice, but I didn't know he was a famous actor. Okay. Just somebody I would see a lot. And when I went back to the car, Leia hit me hard. She elbowed me hard. She goes, you know Vin Diesel, and you didn't introduce me to him? I said, I didn't. Who's Vin Diesel? She goes, the guy you were talking to. I said, first of all, he's some guy I see around Venice. How would I know he's famous? She said, everybody knows who he is. Except I didn't know who he was.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
Yeah, I know they know me, but I don't know.
If you don't see his work, you don't know who he is.
No, yeah. So the next time I saw him, yeah. Oh, okay. I had him talk to Leia because she was going to kill me.
Right. She's the one that almost got me killed with Lou Ferrigno. So.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about the same woman. That's funny.
Right. Yeah. No. She's been remarried for a few years since then, and her last name isn't Harris anymore, like mine.
No, but she was funny. Talking about Vin Diesel didn't introduce me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. No, that's funny.
Yeah. So that job, it led to that television series, and from that television series, my friend Miko Brando, he's Marlon Brando's son. My friend Miko, his wife Karen, and I are very good friends. And I remember Karen was telling me, "You're so funny. You should do stand-up comedy." Again, she's the one that got me into it. Back into it because I had dropped out. And remember, I did that club that one time, and I thought about coming back to it. Karen encouraged me to go into it, and she was telling me that Miko's best friend was John Lovitz. And I said, Tell John Lovitz I'm a comic. Tell him I want to, can I come and, work for him, open for him or something? She said, okay, I'll talk to him. I'll talk to Miko, and I talked to Miko, and I told Miko to hook me up, and Miko said, I'll introduce you, but I ain't hooking you up like that. He did. So they invited me to Karen's birthday party, which I think is in February, and I remember he was sitting right across from me. And I thought, wow, John's sitting right across from me. I'm going to tell him I'm a comic, and I want to open for him, But he stayed on his cell texting, doing whatever he's doing. He's just typing. He never looked up.
Wow.
30 minutes went by, and he was still on it. I thought, wow, he's antisociable, And she had a lot of guests. And I remember Karen saw what was happening, and she came over to me, and she says, hey, John, tell him about that time with you and Brad Pitt and Frank Gehry, So I said, okay, I'll tell him about that time with me, Brad Pitt, and Frank Gehry. Angelica Houston had a party. And they were there at the party.
Because I know Brad Pitt is a huge architecture buff.
Yes.
Frank Gehry is a famous architect. So
yes, but I didn't know who he was at the time. Frank Gehry. I knew who Brad Pitt was.
Oh, so you didn't know the man that designed the Disney Hall downtown.
No, I didn't know who that guy was. And that guy lives in Venice. Yeah, but I didn't know who he was at that time. So I ran over to Brad, and I said, Brad, can I get a picture with you? And he said, yes. And I was like, I was with my friend Antoinette. I said, Antoinette, get over here, because Antoinette lives in Venice. Her house looks like a hotel. Okay. One of those $5 or $7 million. She lived in one of those houses. But she was telling me, well, Brad Pitt, his gardener is my gardener. Something she was saying. I don't know. But I told her to get her butt over there to take the picture of me and Brad Pitt. So when she got ready to take the picture of me and Brad Pitt, this old guy jumped into the picture. I said, excuse me, you move. This is my picture. And then Antoinette tapped me, and she said, bitch, you don't want to do that. I said, why not? Is that Brad's dad? He can get his picture with Brad some other time. And then she said, no. That's Frank Gehry. I said, who the hell is Frank Gehry?
Oh my gosh. And you might as well said, who's Frank Lloyd Wright?
No, I said, who the hell is Frank Gehry? She said, he designed the Disney something. All I heard was Disney something. And I said, I don't care if he designed little kids' room with Disney. And she said, no, bitch, the Disney concert hall, the Guggenheim Museum. She was naming buildings. That Frank Gehry?
Yeah, that Frank Gehry.
Yes. I said, you, get back over here. Do you know he came back over?
Oh,
and I took that picture with him and Brad Pitt.
That's hilarious.
I swear to God.
You have to send me that. I want to see that.
I will give you that. I really did.
Can I put it up on the website?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I want people to see that.
Because it's a true story.
Right.
And she said to me afterwards, he listened to you. Mm-hmm. When you told him to move, he moved. When you told him to get back, he came right back over. She said that man is used to giving orders, not taking them.
It's your command presence.
It's a true story, yeah. He moved the hell out of the way, too, because, I didn't want Brad's dad, but I found out him and Brad are really tight.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine.
And, the funny thing is, Brad was still a gentleman. He could have cussed me out and said, excuse me, he's with me.
Right. He didn't
say anything. He was just probably shocked. He was probably shocked that Frank moved so fast.
Right. That's hilarious.
It's true, though.
Oh, my gosh.
I've had some moments, honey.
Oh, I would imagine.
With a lot of people, yeah.
Knowing you, I would imagine.
Yeah, but everybody I ever fought with became my good friends.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Seriously. Anyone that's ever cussed me out became a good friend.
Right.
Because you know why? Because I never forgot a face. And if you called me some horrible names, I'd be on the lookout for you. And, of course, your dumb butt would park wrong again, and then I would take my time writing that ticket.
Right.
I wanted you to come out and see that bitch that you called the bitch.
Right. There you go.
They couldn't believe it. With them. They couldn't believe it. There I am.
Oh, my God.
You know what I'm saying? So I guess it was a losing battle.
Right. Well, here we are.
Yeah, but that's speaking about the party. So when I told that story about Brad and Frank Gehry, John Lovitz finally looked up at me and he goes, Jackie Pucci, you're fucking hilarious. If you can do that on stage, I'll let you open up for me. Mm-hmm. Do you have a booking manager agent? I go, no, Mr. Lovitz.
So was he? I'm assuming he was drinking at the time by the.
No, but I was just trying to imitate the way you talk. It probably sounded like I was drinking.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was screaming. I said, "Oh, thank you, Mr. Lovitz." I said, "For real, you gonna let me open for you?" Yes, I will. Give me your number. So this is like in February.
Right.
True story. I gave him my number, right? And I went home on cloud now. John's gonna call me. John's gonna call me. This was February, right?
Right.
March went by. April went by, May and June, July. I went to Karen. John hasn't called me. Oh, he'll call. So we up to July, right? August, September, October done went by. I said, he ain't calling. Forget him. He just talking shit. Everybody talks shit in L.A. That's what I said, right? So I remember I was sitting on the couch watching TV, and the telephone rings. And he said, I said, hello? Jackie Pucci, are you ready to open up for me this Saturday? I was like, oh my God. I dropped the receiver. And I ran to the kids' room screaming, I'm opening for John this Saturday. And they were hugging me and screaming. I went outside, started knocking at everybody's door. We're in the hallway, jumping up and down, all excited that I'm opening up for him. I spent an hour outside talking to everybody. I come back into the house. The receiver is on the couch. And I scream to the children, can you pick up, why can't y'all just hang up the receiver when you're done with it? But Mom, we weren't on it. You were on it. You remember you said you were opening for John somebody?
Right.
I was like, oh my God, I didn't say yes. I ran over and I picked it up. I said, John, yes. And it's a dial tone, right? I go, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I pressed star 69.
Right.
And it said, you can't put the call through.
Right.
So then I went to Twitter and I wrote a direct message to him on Twitter. And it said it got kicked back because that person isn't following you.
Right.
So then I called Miko's house and Prudence answered, their daughter Prudence answered the telephone. And she goes, they're in Tahiti. I go, what do you mean they're in Tahiti? I didn't think to say John called because Prudence knows John. She has his number.
Oh.
But my mind didn't think that way. And I was like, oh my God, he called for me to open up on Saturday. And I didn't say yes. I said nothing. I left him hanging. Yes, I did. But the next day, they called me. Somebody else called me and said that you were talking to John, but you left him hanging. You never said yes. So, yeah, that's true. So what they told me to be at his club in Universal Studio. at 7 o'clock. And when I went there, John walked right up to me, and he said to me, "Well, Jackie Pucci, how shall we present you on stage? And how much time do you need?" Right. So I was thinking, you got to think really fast when you're talking to him. Right. So I thought to myself, if I say 10 minutes, that'll sound like I'm an amateur.
Right.
I said, all I need is 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
And he looked at me.
HBO comedy special.
He looked at me and he said, 30 minutes. Are you sure you can do 30 minutes? And I looked at him and I said, yes, I can, Mr. Lovitz. I can do 30 minutes.
Wow.
Didn't even have 30 minutes of material. Here I'm going, yes, I can, And then he said, well, how would you like to be introduced? I said, just say the famous meter maid from Venice Beach on a television series, all worked up on True TV. Okay, that's how we'll introduce you. And then he walked away. And then I realized I made a mistake. I said 30 minutes. Why did I say 30 minutes? Right. So I ran over to Karen and Miko because they came out to support me, and they were there early, and they said, well, drink a bunch of Mai Tais. By that time, you'll figure out 30 minutes of material. So I kept drinking Mai Tais. I must have had like 8 Mai Tais. And I don't drink, but my nerves were shot. And I assumed he would be upstairs in the green room. Right? Well, they called my name, and I had so many Mai Tais. They said, Jackie Pucci, come to the stage opening up for John Lovitz. Right. And I looked at Karen, and I go, they're calling somebody named Jackie Pucci. Did you hear him? And she goes, that's you. I was like, oh, like that. That's me? She goes, yeah, that's you. So I get up, I can hardly walk. And who is standing there with their back against the wall? John Lovitz. Right. He's supposed to be upstairs. He's not upstairs. He's in front of the stage with his back to the wall. And I was like, oh my God. And so when I walked right past him, I was so scared and so nervous that the material that I had formalized in my head disappeared. So as I was walking up the stairs, I could feel him looking, and I said, if you mess this up, you will never work in this town again.
Oh, wow.
That's what I said. I said to myself, bitch, you better think of something, and you better think of something quick.
Right.
And so I got up on that stage. I swear I was so scared. And I remember this old couple was sitting by the stage, and they were smiling at me. And I thought, I'll know what I'll do. I'll flirt with the old man. Then that'll help me get my memory back. And so I started flirting with him, and I was saying to the wife, your old man there look kind of good, perhaps him and I could get together later.
Oh my God.
And his wife was looking like, yeah, you can have him. I was like, I don't know if I want to have him. How much money does he have? Because I got to have a lot of money to spend, because I want to make sure that we have our wedding in the morning and his funeral that night. And she was like, hell no. That woman was sassy. Right. So what do you mean, hell no? You invited too. You come to the wedding so you can pick out his clothes for the burial. And so, and the whole room started laughing. Right. And 30 minutes went quickly. And I did it.
All right.
I did it.
There you did.
Yes. And as I came off the stage, I got a standing ovation, and I thought I was fantastic. And John said, come here, I want to see you.
Oh, wow.
That's not good.
Right. So
when someone's saying, come here, they want to see you.
That high just went down.
Yeah, it went down. I was like, oh, my God, what did I do?
Right.
So I go over there. He says, Jackie Pucci, that was fabulous, except you don't never want to hear except. So I said, except what? I'm thinking, oh, my God, he didn't like it. He said, except when the light comes on, you stop talking. You don't stop talking. You wrap it up.
Right. Now, for those of us for those that are listening at home, what is that light? What does it signify?
The light means your time is up, so you have to wrap it up and get off stage.
Right.
But I thought it meant shut the hell up. So I walked off the stage, and he was saying to me, the audience was loving you. They were loving you, and you just stopped. You don't do that. But, yes, I never done it again.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so John was the first one. And the funny thing is, I used to tell people I'm going to open for somebody famous. I was just joking. You know how you just be talking smack when people go, what are you going to do? I go, I'm going to be a famous comic. I'm going to open for somebody famous. You know, not knowing, but telling everybody my dreams.